Well, a very good evening to you and welcome to Game On. My name is Mahreen, Chenia, and it's a very special episode for us because we are celebrating 500 episodes of Game On. It's certainly been an exciting journey. It's been lots of hard work and lots of trying to make the show into what it is today, and we're very excited for what's to come in the future. Well, let's not waste any time because we have a lot planned for today's show. You can send us your congratulations or how you feel about the show. You can do that on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @Mahreen_Chenia or the channels at ANN7TV. Let's have a look at you guys. Well, it's semi-final time in the Nedbank Cup this weekend. Nick Durant calls it today. He joins us in studio. Well, as I said, Game On is celebrating 500 episodes. Well, it's the last day for the competition time here at ANN7. We are giving tickets away to go and watch the Lions take on the Blues on Saturday. Kickoff is at 19:15. All you have to do is answer that easy question on your screen there. Which stadium will host the Lions versus Blues game on Saturday? You can email your answer, your name, your city, and your contact details to sports@ann7.com. As I said, the game starts at 19:15. Well, Orlando Pirates' dream of returning to continental football for next season lies in the Nedbank Cup. Pirates are up against Free State Stars at Global Park on Saturday afternoon. However, the Soweto side's recent form is giving little indication that the African dream will be realised, and even a top 8 finish is also on the line.
Orlando Pirates have featured in CAF competitions for the last 3 years, reaching the Champions League and Confederation Cup finals. Their participation next season will only be guaranteed if they win the 2016 Nedbank Cup. Free State Stars await them in the semi-final, which will be one of 2 hurdles they will need to jump if they are to reach continental football.
I want to win the Nedbank and go back to Africa. So it's very important to win tomorrow's game, you know. So we have to beat Free State Stars so that we can go back to Africa. We've been playing Africa, we have a lot of experience, so I don't think it will be a problem tomorrow to win the game. So, but we have to give our best.
Pirates' latest form has seen them fail to win a match in their last 4 games. That has now put the pressure back on their coach, Eric Tinkler, to qualify for the top 8 in the league. The Soweto Giants have never failed to make the top 8.
No, obviously that is a concern for me, and you don't want that hanging over your shoulder, you know. But I can't sit and worry about that. I need to focus on us getting the result against Free State Stars. In my opinion, 3 cup finals ahead of us. This one, and if we win this, the possibility of actually playing Super Sport in the league to stay in the top 8, and then possibly playing Super Sport in the cup final. You know, so these are possible 3 cup finals for us right now. But do I believe we have a squad that can cope with that? I do.
Tinkler will complete his first full season as Pirates coach, and there is pressure on him and his players to turn the situation around with continental football and a place in the top 8 at stake. Mina Ntahlela for ANN7, Johannesburg.
Well, it's the semi-finals of the Nedbank Cup this weekend. Free State Stars will play Orlando Pirates at Global Park, as I said, on Saturday afternoon. Later that evening, SuperSport United will host Baroka FC at the Lucas Moripi Stadium in Atteridgeville. Now, the winner of that competition will play in the 2017 CAF Confederation Cup. And SuperSport coach Stuart Baxter says clubs competing in African tournaments need a lot of support from the league.
We have 5 or 6 teams here that are as good as anything on the continent. So why can't we help them out organisationally with the season and how it pans out? Help them out to have a bigger and better chance to make the country proud out in Africa. I think whether or not you get that help, I think you still want to get out there and you still want to test yourselves.
Well, one of the most iconic boxing trainers in South African boxing is calling it a day. Nick Durant joins us in studio. Nick, thank you very much for being with us here. Why the decision to call it a day, to hang up the boxing gloves?
Been there, done it, bought the T-shirt, lived it. I always said that, I think 10, 15 years ago, I put it in my head that when I retire from the business, I'd like to retire when I'm on the top of the game. And I am. I started 2016 this year with 2 world champions in my gym, a #1 WBC world title contender. And I also didn't want to be that guy from the Rocky movie, the old man in the gym that just wanted to pass time and train a couple of journeymen. But really the state of the game in the country of boxing has changed immensely over the last 7 years.
Yeah.
I think the glory days are gone. And fighters are desperate for work. And there's not enough work out there in the game of boxing. However, with saying that, it's 29 years of pure adrenaline. Traveled the world, been to the most exotic places in the world, and I've really been to some farms. But it's been a fantastic ride. 38 world champions, 27 international champions, 97 South African champions. What more could I achieve? I'd like to walk away from the game strong, healthy, and really afford my children what they deserve from a father now, because they've given me the time to do what I love and I have a passion for. And I'm leaving the game saddened, but happy in a way that I can sit back now and watch the future of boxing.
Absolutely, and you know, you certainly left a legacy behind. We've watched you just make champions and sort of take boxing into your hands completely in South Africa, and taken so many players internationally. But I want to know where it all started. You obviously started off in England. How did you land up here in South Africa and, you know, start in boxing? What drove you to the sport?
English mother, South African father.
Okay.
My dad was a professional footballer. And started a career as a very young man in England as a soccer player. And I was born on Boxing Day.
Okay.
So boxing was meant to be.
It was written in the stars.
Yeah. Nightclubs, bouncing, pulled me to a boxing gym to stay in shape, to look after patrons in nightclubs. And that's where the love for the game came. And started off training in gyms and then befriended a lot of the fighters, and ended up sponsoring a couple of fighters, and the next minute I was training fighters. And that's been 29 years, and 29 phenomenal years. If I had to choose life over, would I change anything? Not a chance. I've had a roller coaster ride second to none. The highlights outweigh the lowlights. And just blessed that I had so many great fighters under my wings. And it wasn't just a Nick Durant success. I obviously needed the talent to do it as well.
Absolutely.
And to all my fighters, thank you for the 29 years that you made me so proud, I could say.
Who would you say was your biggest achievement?
Too many to mention. My biggest achievement, I think having the pleasure of sitting with the great Nelson Mandela for 5 hours in his home in Hart and just chatting about general things of life.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to share that man alone in his room, in his lounge, and just chat to that person for 5 hours. There was just something about Mr. Nelson Mandela that he oozed something, and you felt you were in a god in his hands. And that was probably the most special moment of my career in boxing. However, it wasn't in a ring.
Yes, yes.
But the ring got me to meet the great man. And the night Lennox Lewis got knocked out by Hasim Rahman at Carnival City, I was part of his team for 10 weeks. The night we won the WBC World Super Middleweight. Too many to mention. You know, I've been asked a number of times, who was the best fighter I've trained? I've trained 38 world champions. I would be showing any of my fighters a disrespect by naming and individualizing just one of them. So it's what was my highlight? 29 years of being in love with boxing. That was my highlight.
And we could see it every time that we certainly spoke to you. What happens to the boxers in your stable now? I think your gym is closed right now, if I'm not mistaken.
The gym is still operational. I have a young man and a beautiful young man at home called Damien. He's 25 years old. He was born into the game. And I think he's taken over the baton. But he's 25 years old and he must make a decision himself. I think he would be able to take over that baton very, very easily and very, very comfortably. He's had 25 years of learning underneath his dad's whoop. I don't think that I will be lost to boxing. I would, however, after 29 years, like to give something back to boxing in some form. And you know, in life they say when one door closes, another opens. Let's see what opens up for me. But right now, you know, it's 48 hours of retirement. I'm just trying to relax. And I must say, I didn't know I was so loved in this country because
You didn't?
the Facebook and the Twitters and the comments that people are making has actually saddened me, because if that had come 48 hours ago, maybe I would have still been in the business. But anyway, it's been a great ride, and there's a lot of people to thank for it, you know, promoters, fighters, media. They made me who I am. And, you know, love me or hate me, I've delivered the goods.
Oh, yes, you have. Absolutely. So you talk about still giving back to boxing. There's rumors that you might take over boxing South Africa. You find that a joke?
No, I do find it a joke because I'm not an educated man. However, I have the experience.
I think that's...
I don't wear suits, I wear tracksuits, but I produce world champions.
Yes, you do.
I know the business inside out, and I would like to come back in the sport and do something for the better of the sport.
Yes.
I'd like to help revive the sport in this country, and if it takes Nick Durant retiring to assist boxing, then so be it, because this game's given me 29 years. It's secured me financially over many years. It's given my kids a good life, and I would like to give back in some form, in some manner.
So you would be interested if the offer came?
If the offer came to run boxing in this country, I would take it, no questions even asked. You know, there won't be a CV. My CV is Google me.
Oh, yes.
And that'll tell you who I am.
I love it. Nick, we really, really appreciate you being here. We love what you've done for boxing in the country. I certainly have a bit of a knot in my throat because we're losing a great boxing, but I certainly hope and I look forward to seeing what more you have to give.
I'm not lost. I've had a love affair with boxing for 29 years,
Yes.
and that love affair will continue because it's
Absolutely.
been my life and it's in my blood, and I will not be lost to boxing. I'm sure there will be a spot somewhere in boxing that I can assist, but right now it's time for me to give back to my family what they've
Yes.
given to me.
That's important.
And I wouldn't say I'm happy to retire. I've been reduced to tears in the last couple of days.
Sure.
But I always said I'd like to leave the game when I'm healthy and I'm fit, and I feel like that. You know, I made the choice, I think, at the right time, and I'm proud of what I've done in the sport. And I've always learned nobody should ever apologize for their success. And I've raised the flag in this country on many, many occasions abroad, and I think I've been a fantastic ambassador for the sport.
I think so too.
Many people believe that I've been the face of South African boxing for the past 29 years.
You have.
Well, boxing will not die without Nick Durant. Boxing will continue because boxing started in the 1800s and will continue till 2020, 2090. But I was glad to just make a difference in the sport.
And you have. Nick, thank you very much for
Thank
speaking
you.
to us. We wish you all the best in your retirement and what's next to come.
Thank you for having me.
Well, moving on to rugby for just a moment. Stormers are in Argentina to battle it out with the Sunwolves on Saturday, looking to bounce back to winning ways and maintain their position on top of the South African conference log. On paper, the Cape Town-based outfit should have it easy, but coach Robbie Fleck believes his side will have to work hard in order to grind out a positive result.
Round 12 of Super Rugby sees the Stormers team in the Far East for their match against newcomers, the Sunwolves. This will be a typical David versus Goliath scenario at the Singapore National Stadium on Saturday.
Will they get in though? The captain is in. Sublime score from the Stormers.
The Cape Town-based outfit are desperate to bounce back to winning ways after their disappointing, narrow 32-30 defeat to the Waratahs in Cape Town.
And Hooper stretches and scores.
After hammering the Japanese side in the first meeting in Cape Town, more of the same is expected on Saturday. However, coach Robbie Fleck was quick to admit that it will not be a walk in the park as the Japanese side have improved in their last few matches.
The Sunwolves are, even though the results haven't gone their way, they're certainly a side that puts every team under pressure in terms of their attacking game. And they certainly showed that at Newlands when, at stages where they kept ball in hand and they put us under pressure defensively. So, we've got our work cut out.
The Stormers are looking to bounce back to winning ways in order to consolidate their position in the South African Conference with a spot in the playoffs within reach.
And in for his second.
We're going to go out there and really enjoy the sights and sounds of Singapore and enjoy ourselves there, but we certainly got a job to do and we need to come back with a win. Like I said, momentum is key, and we're coming off a loss, and it's really important that we go out there and come back with a win to start phase 3.
Fleck has retained the core of the team that has been doing well in the competition, with flanker Reynard Elstad returning back to the starting lineup. Sports Desk, ANN 7.
On the bounce of the ball, he's into the corner.
Well, we broadcast live from the GCB and the Lions Awards last night, and it was a fantastic evening out to just socialise with some of the cricket players, the Lions players, administrators of the game in the province, and of course with some of our colleagues. It was a fantastic evening indeed. Joining me now in studio is Lions spinner and of course Protein spinner as well, Eddie Lear. Eddie, thank you very much for being with us in studio. We had to invite you back for the big 500 because you've been here a few times. You've sort of grown with us in this time. Thank you for being with us.
Oh, no problem, ma'am. Congratulations on 500 episodes.
Thank you.
I feel like out of 500, I've done 10 of those. So
I think so.
490. But it's always nice to come back home. It feels like I'm at home here, to be honest.
Well, thanks, Eddie. We're saying 500, not out, so we certainly hope it continues. Eddie, we were at the Lions Awards. It was a fantastic evening, wasn't it? I'm sure after a long season, you guys just enjoy a little time to party it up a bit.
Yeah, I think it was a nice time to relax with mates and catch up on the events that happened during the season. You know, well done to Dwayne Pretorius for getting player of the season. I felt like, you know, I thought he was going to go to the West Indies or the Proteas. I think he did quite nicely for us. You know, congratulations to Harders. But if you look at the totality of the players that actually performed in the season, you know, there's a lot of standing out performances, and we had to isolate them to those players. Alviro Peterson was magnificent for us, you know, scoring those 400s in a row. Obviously, you know, getting those 5 for 16 myself, getting 5 for 16 in the Ramsdam and 5 for 30 in the Momentum. I feel like, you know, it was a nice collective team effort.
Absolutely, Eddie. You were obviously injured for a lot, but you had some standout performances. What sort of motivated you this season?
This season, like I remember when I was here the last show, I said that we just won the Sunflower when we were here, and I said that we must win the shorter version. But now it happened the other way around. We actually won the one day, but we didn't win the Sunflower. We came very close second. Yeah, obviously with me, I think I had a long year. You know, went to Bangladesh, and you had New Zealand, then India with the Proteas. Then I had to go to St. Lucia, so I played the whole year and kind of like took its toll on my body. And towards the latter end of the season, obviously I got a hamstring tour, and even the final, then Newlands, it happened. But you know, things like that, they happen in cricket, and obviously I don't think it will you know, we'll never repeat those mistakes again. I know what I did wrong now. It's time to refocus and be strong again.
Well, you were playing in the Caribbean Premier League, if I'm not mistaken. How was that experience for you?
It was a very good experience playing with top players in the world. I mean, having Kevin Peterson and having Darren Sen in the same changing room, having Ross Taylor, you know, having one of the legends in our team. And, you know, it was a magnificent experience. And I'm going back there in 3 weeks' time. So hopefully, you know, we'll relive those moments from last year.
Absolutely. Eddie, you would have gotten a taste of those conditions going into the Caribbean series that we are now. How do you adapt? What is the secret to be able to adapt to those conditions and play to the best with especially the spin?
To be honest, I feel like, you know, we know India's favorite for spinners, but if you look at the Caribbean, I think Caribbean is second favorite because, you know, if you go to St. Lucia, of which was my home franchise, it bounces a bit more. When you go to Guyana, I mean, they say first-class spinners that they take about 70 wickets a season. You know, it's unheard of. It's unheard of, and you know, the ball's ripped square. That's why Sunil Narayana played for them. And I think the Caribbean is also a spinner's paradise, you know. And also you get a bit of bounce. And I think spinners should do well in that tournament, to be honest.
Do you feel that your technique has become a lot better? You've learned a lot from that experience, and maybe will take you through into the next season?
Yeah, I've learned a lot. I mean, like if you play against players that are playing international level, that are stalwarts in international level, I mean, I feel like your game grows, you know, and my game certainly has grown, you know, from bowling to those batsmen. But, you know, I feel like, you know, as well, first-class cricket, I'll say it again, I said it last year, I feel like my first-class game has to grow a little bit. I mean, this year it was a good season again for me. I'm Grand Slam. I was a joint fourth lead wicket taker, and Momentum, I was, you know, also number 8. So I think I had a good season in one-day cricket, but I need to just take it into the Sunfall series and see what happens.
Eddie, would you have liked to have gone to that spinning camp with some of the guys? I know there were a lot of exclusions from that, but there's always nice to be able to do your best at subcontinent level.
No, I was actually in the original team
Yes.
for that, and obviously I excused myself. I called the selectors and I called the coach. I excused myself from that camp. I've been to two already, the one in Sri Lanka and the
That's
one in
right,
India.
that's
So I excused myself due to personal reasons, and I wanted to sort out personal reasons before I go to the Caribbean,
that's right.
instead of going to India and my mind is not there. So there's the reason why I didn't want to go there. But hopefully there will be more to come and I'll go to those.
Certainly. Eddie, what's your goals for this upcoming season? What would you like to achieve personally and with the Lions and the national squad?
I don't know. I think I'm a bit on the fence now because last year I said we won the Sunfall, the 4-day, and I said maybe if we win the shorter versions. And now I feel like I don't know what we want anymore. But I feel like we still have to win at least one shorter version competition and one first class Sydney. And for me personally, my goals, I want to go back to the Proteas. I mean, I've been working hard on that.
Absolutely.
I have to go back there, and I want to be number 1 in the world. I think people, they say it's a big statement, but I really want to be number 1 in the world, and I'm working towards that.
Eddie, and we certainly believe that you can and wish you all the best for the upcoming season. Thank you very much for being with us. Please grab a cupcake before you go. I know you're usually on a strict diet, but you can cheat today.
No, today I think it's cheat day, Mahreen. Well done again on your 500
Thank you very
episodes.
much.
Hope to see you again next time.
Definitely. Well, as I've been saying throughout the show, it has certainly been an exciting and an exhilarating journey for Game On, and I have certainly enjoyed every minute of telling the stories of great sportsmen and women, both big and small, from every part of this beautiful country. Well, I certainly hope that we continue for another 500. Now, these episodes would certainly not have been possible without the passionate people on the sports desk here at ANN7, especially just a couple that we need to name, Kuliso Nimarimela, who has had to deal with so much to put the show together every single day. Len Moleko being another one who brings the football flair every Friday. Khotso Sello, who has a brilliant mind and lets me feel at ease when he's right here doing the work with us on the show. I certainly need to mention our boss and the Chief, Edwin Khaswe, who is also celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday, Chief. And he has certainly, from my perspective, made me a better journalist and has made all this possible and given us all on the sports desk the confidence to continue to be the best that we can be. Well, here is to another 500. We play out with the best of 500 not out. Thanks for being with us this evening.
You push yourself to improve. Everything has its own time, and we're hoping that maybe someday we'll actually qualify for the World Cup as a senior team.
I think those are the main goals. If you're an athlete, if you reach those goals, you will say, yes, I've took my part, I'm done now,
Yeah, it's an initiative from Dreamfields together with Discovery. I think it's an awesome initiative. They handed out six playing kits to 6 schools.
Players already, like I said, have shown that they're capable of carrying these instructions out. It's just a matter of staying focused and concentrated for the entire game until the final whistle goes.
For me, the important thing I must say to your viewers is the fact that at least there was an African who stood. There's no question of desperation here. It's inspiration of people that we're not afraid, do not be discouraged, and that's how I come this far.
I want to be the best, and being the best, you got to play. You got to play against the best.
Because Argentina beat the Springboks in the Rugby Championship, and as much as the Springboks did avenge that defeat, but it was outside the Rugby Championship at that match that they played.
I felt like if they'd gone to the final, it would have been a great injustice to the sport.
Yeah, Loftus is a special place. It'll always be, and we hope to make it, a difficult place for opponents to play. He clattered me, and that was it. I got stretched off from the field. My dream came true. And they said the first thing I called for was my mom.
At the end of the day, it's what you give back to the team and putting the team before yourself.
The most important thing was to enjoy. Let the enjoyment overwhelm the pressure, and that's what everyone did.
And then I scored my first 100. It was obviously brilliant. And after the day's play, you only realize what you've achieved.
What does this mean for the future of sport? Well, that's what's on my mind this evening. From me, Mahreen, Chenia, and the Game On team, have a good night.